Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Convention with another installment of Building the Team. So, our last build was the Halloween build, 700 points. Everyone must have either mystical or monster. Well, I got to run each team once. Only played 2 out of 3 rounds. I had to buy the third round, so yeah. Anyway, round 1 with the monster team, I won. I was in all honesty kind of surprised, especially seeing as how some of the things I was up against were were a bit more on the cheesy meta side of things. But yeah, surprisingly I won. Sadly, with the the mystical team didn't do so well. I took at least one figure out, but yeah, didn't do near as well as I did with the monster team. Anyway, so for this week's build, as 2 members of the group have birthdays soon, it's a 500 point birthday bash. So everyone must have cake on their dial. Hence the fact that we will be using on all 3 teams this week Deadpool from the Rise and Fall Play-At-Home Kit. The sculpt of the figure in general is celebrating Deadpool's 30th anniversary. But we'll go over him now just to get him out of and then we'll go over the rest of the teams. So Deadpool comes in at 60 points. He has the team player wildcard ability as well as the X-Men team ability. He also has the Deadpool Core, Thunderbolts, Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men, and Assassin keywords, as well as improved movement ignores characters. We've also got 2 traits. First off is got everyone goodie bags. At the beginning of the game, give each friendly character a goodie bag token and roll a d6. This game, friendly characters have the listed effect. 1 to 2, balloons, free. Remove a goodie bag token to gain flight this turn. 3 to 4, cake, free. Remove a goodie bag token to heal 2 clicks. 5 to 6, illegal weapons, free. Remove a goodie bag token to modify damage by +1 this turn. Okay, alright. The other trait is katanas and pinatas. Blaze Claw's Fangs. When a friendly character KOs an opposing character, give them a goodie bag token. Okay. Looking at the dial, we've got a couple clicks of stealth, followed by a clicks of charge, a couple clicks of energy explosion, followed by some quake, a couple clicks of combat reflexes, followed by a few clicks of regeneration. I'm surprised at how much regeneration he's got for such a short dial. And then on damage, we have a full run of probability control. Not bad for 60 points, not great, but not bad. So, having gone over his keywords as well, now it's time to see. We built 3 teams, team 3 of those keywords: X-Force, Weapon X, and the Thunderbolts. So we'll kick things off looking at the Thunderbolts team, starting with Sage, who has become something of a staple of X-Men and X-Force teams. But she comes in at 40 points, has the X-Men team ability as well as the X-Force and X-Men keywords. She also has a trait, the Mutant CIA, which grants her stealth as well as improved targeting, ignores hindering terrain. Looking at her dial, we have a full run of sidestep. We have an opening click on attack of telekinesis, and sadly that's all on attack. She starts off with 2 clicks of willpower on defense, followed by 2 clicks of super senses. And then on damage, we have a full run of the special power, team logistics and coordination, which grants her leadership and outwit. Okay. Next up, we've got Elixir. Elixir comes in at 40 points as well. He also has the X-Men team ability as well as the Hellfire Club, New Mutants, the 5, X-Force and X-Men keywords. Finally, we have a trait, the 5, Elixir. When a friendly character is chosen for the Krakoan Revival trait after resolutions, heal each character adjacent to them in 1 click. Well, no one else on the team has Greco and Revival, so not really something we have to worry about. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of Sidestep, followed by a couple clicks of Stealth. Nothing on attack. On defense, we open up with a few clicks of Vulnerability, followed by a couple clicks of Regeneration. Then on damage, we have a special power, Omega Level Healing. Support, but Elixir and his target may be adjacent to opposing characters. When a friendly character uses the X-Men team ability, increase their D6 result by +2. So, for those who may be unaware of what the X-Men team ability does, I'm pretty sure I go over this every time I run Elixir, but still. As a power action, choose an adjacent friendly character that can use the team ability and heal that character 1 click and roll a D6. On a 1 through a 4, this character is dealt 1 unavoidable damage. So, with Elixir's special power, you can increase that D6 result by +2. So, instead of it being a 1 through 4, it's instead a 1 or a 2. Then he finishes up with a couple clicks of Exploit Weakness. Moving on, we've got Warpath. Warpath comes in at 50 points, has the X-Men team ability, as well as the Hellions, New Mutants, Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men, and Warrior keywords. He is also the only figure on the team with a Rally ability. It keys off of adjacent attack rolls that contain a 5. It also grants him Stealth. As a free action, you can remove his Rally die to make a range attack with a 5 range, and a improved targeting ignores hindering terrain. Okay. Looking at his dial, we get a few clicks of Charge, followed by a couple clicks of Flurry, full run of Blaze Claw's Fangs, full run of Toughness, as well as a few clicks of Exploit Weakness, followed by a couple clicks of Outwit. And, you'll notice, we have an attack value that never drops out of the double digits. Plus a consistent defense value, so yeah. Not too shabby. Moving on, we've got Forge. The Maker here comes in at 60 points, has the X-Men team ability, as well as the X-Factor, X-Force, X-Men, Mystical, Scientist, and Soldier keywords. Like Sage, he has the Mutant CIA trait, which grants him Stealth and improved targeting hindering terrain. Looking at his dial, we've got a few clicks of Sidestep, followed by a couple clicks of Plasticity. On attack, we open up with a few clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Precision Strike. On defense, all we've got is a couple clicks at the beginning of Toughness. Then on damage, we have a full run of the special power Technopath, which grants him Perplex. When Forge uses it to target another character that shares 2 or more keywords, he may modify the chosen value, except for damage, by +2 instead. Okay, alright. That could definitely come in handy. There's some characters that could definitely benefit from +2 attack. Hell, everybody can benefit. But, yeah, most of them all have at least an 11 to start with. I think Sage is the only one that doesn't have an 11 to start off with. Elixir, though, he's got a 12. But he's also got 0 damage, so yeah. Anyway, next up we've got Wolverine. Wolverine comes in at 60 points, has the X-Men team ability, as well as the Weapon X, X-Force, X-Men, Animal, and Assassin keywords. We also have the Mutant CIA trait, same as Forge and Sage. Now looking at his dial, we have a couple clicks to start off with the special power Weapon X Reject, which grants him Charge or Flurry. That thing gives way to a couple clicks of regular Charge, followed by a couple clicks of regular Flurry. On the top half of the dial, we've got Precision Strike, and on the bottom half of the dial, we've got Blaze Claw's Fangs. On defense, we have, for the top half of the dial, we've got Combat Reflexes, followed by a couple clicks of Super Senses, followed by Regeneration on his final click. Then on damage, we have 4 whole clicks of Exploit Weakness, followed by 2 clicks of Battle Fury. Okay. Just saying, if he ends up on those last couple clicks when Sage is still on top dial, or still on her top click, yeah. If he's not on, at least if he's not on the regen click, yeah, by all means, use telekinesis. Put him right up on an opposing someone with shape change. Oh, shape change. That's nice. Battle Fury says no. Downside though is it's not penetrating. So yeah. So if you're going to do that, you have to be a little bit. You have to be a little careful. Anyway, moving on to our next figure, we've got Domino. Domino comes in at 60 points, has the X-Men team ability, as well as the X-Force, X-Men, Assassin, and Spy keywords, and the Mutant CIA trait. Looking at her dial, we got a few clicks of Running Shot, followed by a few clicks of Sidestep. On attack, all we've got is a few clicks of the special power Plant-Based Krakoan Arm Cannon, which, as a free action, you may choose one of the following for this turn. Energy Explosion, incapacitate with 2 targets, or Penetrating Psychic Blast. On defense, we open up with Combat Reflexes, which then gives way to Super Senses. Then on damage, we open up with Probability Control, which then gives way to Close Combat Expert. I don't like her not having a full of prob. I feel like she could have a special prob followed by regular prob, but hey, giving her at least one of the combat expert powers, that also really does work for her because, well, yeah, she is a combat expert. And finally, we've got Cable. The old man here comes in at 120 points. He's got the X-Men team ability as well as the New Mutants, 6-pack, X-Men, X-Force, X-Men, Armor, Future, and Soldier keywords, as well as the trait X-Force, which grants him Stealth. Looking at his dial, we open up with a special power on speed called Body Slide, which grants Cable Phasing Teleport. When he uses it and moves 5 squares or less after resolutions, he may make a close or range attack. We then get a couple clicks of Running Shot, then another click of Body Slide, another couple clicks of Flurry, and then on his last click, Body Slide. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, which gives way to a couple clicks of Energy Explosion, and that's sadly it. On damage or defense, we open up with special power Techno-Organic Body and Telekinetic Shield, which grants Cable invulnerability, and when he has less than 2 action tokens, he can use Energy Shield Deflection. That then gives way to Toughness, followed by a final click of Regeneration. On damage, we have a couple clicks of Probability Control, a couple clicks of Range Combat Expert, a couple clicks of Exploit Weakness, and then one more click at the end of Probability Control. Which brings us to our Weapon X team. Starting things off here, we've got Wolverine. And yes, this is actually very similar to the Weapon X team that we ran a couple weeks ago. So Wolverine comes in at 45 points. He's got the X-Men team ability, as well as the Avengers, Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, Weapon X, and X-Men keywords. We also have a Rally ability. Grants Regeneration. When he uses it, before rolling a d6, you may remove the Rally die and use that as a result. Okay. Looking at his dial, we get 3 clicks of Charge, followed by 2 clicks of Flurry, full run of Blaze Claw's Fangs, full run of Toughness, full run of Exploit Weakness. Honestly, not bad at all for 45 points. Next up, we've got Sabertooth. Sabertooth comes in at 60 points. He's got the Brotherhood of Mutants team ability, which reads as follows. When this character hits an opposing character with an attack roll of 10 to 12, after resolutions, remove an action token from this character. Okay. He's also got the Brotherhood, Marauders, Weapon X, Animal, and Monster keywords, and he has a Rally ability. When he uses Blaze Claw's Fangs, you may remove his Rally die and use that as a result instead of rolling the d6. Then, looking at his dial, though, we've got a couple clicks of Charge. We get 3 clicks of Flurry mid-dial and 2 clicks of Stealth at the end. Full run of Blaze Claw's Fangs. 5 straight clicks of Toughness, followed by 2 clicks of Regeneration. And we've got 4 clicks on damage of Exploit Weakness. Also not bad for the points. At all. Not bad at all, really. Next up, we've got Omega Red. Omega Red also comes in at 60 points. And he's got the Weapon X, Assassin, and Soldier keywords. We also have 2 traits. First off is, you see, Kotick understands me. When Omega Red starts the game, generate a Kotick bystander. Next up is, you are not enemy to me. You are rations. Steal energy, giant reach of 3. Okay. Looking at his dial, we've got 4 clicks of charge followed by 3 clicks of flurry, 4 clicks of special attack power. Do not make me kill you would be inconvenience, which grants him quake and incapacitate. This then gives way to 3 clicks of poison. Next up on defense, we get 4 clicks of toughness followed by 3 clicks of invulnerability, which is always impressive to see. Finally, on damage, we open up with 4 clicks of Exploit Weakness followed by 3 clicks of Close Combat Expert. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got Mr. Sinister. Sinister here comes in at 85 points. It has the Hellions, Horsemen, Marauders, and Weapon X keywords. We also have 2 traits. First off is My Own Clone Bodyguard. During force construction, you may choose a character on your starting force that is less than or equal to Mr. Sinister's point value to be Mr. Sinister's clone this game. The clone gains all of Mr. Sinister's keywords. Just saying, it's a Mega Red. Next up, we have Mr. Sinister's deal in a game that don't allow for wildcards. Whenever an opposing character uses team player wildcard ability, after resolutions, deal that character 1 penetrating damage. Okay, alright. Sorry, pal. Sorry, Wade. You're going to be probably taking some damage this game. At least other players' waves. So, looking at his dial, we open up with a click of Stealth on Speed. Then we get 3 clicks of Sidestep, then 2 more clicks of Stealth. We've got a 4-click block of Penetrate Psychic Blast, followed by 2 clicks of Incapacitate on attack. On defense, we open up with 4 clicks of Invulnerability, followed by 2 clicks of Regeneration. On damage, we open up with Special Power Master Manipulator. This grants him leadership, mastermind, and outwit. When Mr. Sinister uses leadership or mastermind, the clone is considered to be adjacent if it is within 4 squares of Mr. Sinister. Okay. And finally, we get 2 clicks at the end of regular outwit. Next up, we've got Hellhound. Hellhound here comes in at 90 points, has the Mystics team ability, as well as the Warp World, Weapon X, Assassin, and Mystical keywords. We got 2 traits. First off is Blood from Mephichathon. Steal energy, but may use it with close or range attacks. And then we have Contingency Clause. When an opposing character would be dealt damage from Hellhound's Mystics team ability, instead, roll a d6 and deal that character penetrating damage equal to half the result. Whew. So that's up to 3 penetrating damage. But anyway, looking at her dial, we've got 3 clicks of charge to begin with, followed by 2 clicks of flurry, then 2 more clicks of plasticity, 5 clicks of Blaze Claw's Fangs, followed by 2 clicks of poison, 3 clicks of toughness, followed by 4 clicks of combat reflexes, 3 clicks of exploit weakness, followed by 2 clicks of probability control, and 2 clicks of outwit. Very not bad for 90 points. And finally, we have ourselves a Thunderbolts team. Kicking things off there, we've got Fixer. Fixer comes in at 50 points and has the Aim, Hydra, Masters of Evil, Shield, Thunderbolts, and Scientist keywords. We've got a trait, Assemble Bolts and Masters. Once per turn when Fixer hits, after resolutions, you may roll a d6. On a 5 or a 6, if your force has 3 or more friendly characters with the Masters of Evil or Thunderbolts keywords, remove an action token from Fixer or give an action token to a hit target. If your force has 6 or more, do both. Okay, looking at his dial, we have a few clicks of Force Blast start off with, followed by a couple clicks of Sidestep. On attack, all we've got is a couple clicks at the beginning of Telekinesis. Then on defense, we have a few clicks of Initial Deflection, followed by a couple clicks of Toughness. On damage, we open up a special power, Resident Tech Genius, which gives him Perplex, and he has a unique modifier, so even though he's not unique, if you had running multiple, only one could actually use this. Or it's more like only one character could be benefiting. I think it's like you don't. It makes it so that you can't just have three of them to do the following. Which, when Fixer uses Perplex, he may instead choose a single combat value other than damage to modify on all friendly characters within 4 squares in line of fire. Okay. But yeah, it's basically that you can't have 3 fixers and have each one just be like, okay, well, position it such that everyone's in their line of fire, and then, oh yeah, you know, this one's perplexing everyone's speed by 2. This one does attack. This one does defense. No, it's just one. Or you could have multiples and just be perplex, perplex, perplex. So yeah. Then we end with 2 clicks of Range Combat Expert. Okay. After that, we've got Claw. Claw comes in at 65 points and has the Master of Evil team ability, as well as the Aim, Frightful 4, Master of Evil, and Scientist keywords. There's another trait, a tuning emitter frequency, and power, but only if an adjacent friendly character can use Empower. Energy Deflection, but only if an adjacent friendly character can use Energy Deflection. Enhancement, but only if you get the idea. Then, looking at his dial, we get a couple clicks of Running Shot, followed by a couple clicks of Phasing Teleport, and then back to Running Shot. On attack, we get a couple clicks of Penetrating Psychic Blast, followed by a couple clicks of Pulse Wave, then another click of Penetrating Psychic Blast. On defense, we open up a special power, Solid Sound Constructs, which grants Toughness and Barrier. Then Barrier is free, but only to generate 1 marker. We get 2 clicks of that, then 2 clicks of Super Senses, then back to the special power. Then on damage, we've got Perplex on the 1st and 3rd clicks. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Not great, but not terrible, you know. Next up, we've got Baron Zemo. Zemo here comes in at 65 points. He's got the Master of Evil team ability, as well as the Master of Evil, Thunderbolts, Martial Arts, and Scientist keywords. 2 traits. First off is, we shall call ourselves the Thunderbolts. During game setup, when establishing theme teams, you may treat Master of Evil and Thunderbolts as a single named keyword. Hence the fact that Claw does not have Thunderbolts. Then we have Assemble Bolts and Master, same as Fixer. Looking at the rest, looking at his dial, we open up with 3 clicks of a special speed power, Wait for the Perfect Time to Strike, which grants Charge, Running Shot, and Stealth. This thing gives way to 3 clicks of regular charge. On attack, we open up with 3 clicks of Precision Strike, followed by 3 clicks of Blaze Claw's Fangs. Defense, we have 3 clicks of Mastermind, followed by 3 clicks of Combat Reflexes. Damage, we open with 4 clicks of the special power, We will take the place of the Avengers in their hearts, which grants leadership and outwit. When Baron Zemo uses leadership and succeeds, you may choose a Marvel team ability that isn't uncopyable. As long as he's on the map, friendly characters with the Master Evil or Thunderbolts keywords can use the chosen team ability until he chooses again. Okay. This then gives way to a couple clicks of Exploit Weakness. Most likely we'll be going after the Sinister Syndicate team ability. Just saying. It's going to make things a whole hell of a lot easier. But next up, we've got the Beetle. Beetle comes in at 75 points and has the Sinister Syndicate team ability, as well as the Master of Evil, Sinister Syndicate, and Armor keywords. We have 3 traits. First off is Signature Equipment Beetle Pod, allowing Beetle to start the game with the Beetle Pod equipped. Then we have Sinister 6 United, Stealth, but only if your force has 3 or more characters. Improvement Hindering, but only if your force has 5 or more characters. Modify all combat values by +1, but only if your force has exactly 6 characters. Okay. We've got 7, so we got Stealth. The improved movement hindering terrain is doubly doesn't matter here. 1, because he's a flyer. 2, because hindering terrain no longer hinders movement. Finally, we have Organizer of the Sinister Syndicate, which grants Beetle leadership When a friendly character within 6 squares replaces its attack value using a Sinister Syndicate team ability, modify its attack value by +1. Okay, so to explain how that works out. Hawkeye has a 12 attack. So let's say that he's adjacent to Claw. Claw has a 10, and so with Sinister Syndicate in being utilized via Baron Zemo, Hawkeye passes along his 12 to Claw. However, now Claw, if he's within 6 squares of Beetle, can turn that 12 into a 13. Which then also allow him to focus his, his perplex on, perplexing up his defense, just in case your opponent goes after him. But yeah, anyway, looking at Beetle's dial, we get 3 clicks of Running Shot, followed by 3 clicks of Sidestep. On attack, we have 4 clicks of Energy Explosion. Defense, we have 4 clicks of Super Senses, followed by 2 clicks of Energy Shield Deflection. Damage-wise, we open up with a click of, we have first and third click of Perplex, and then last 2 clicks of Ranged Combat Expert. Okay, alright. Next up, we've got, well, Hawkeye. Hawkeye comes in at 75 points. He has the Team Player Wildcard ability, as well as the Avengers, Shield, Thunderbolts, Martial Artists, keywords, improved targeting, may make range attacks out of adjacency, including make range attacks against adjacent opposing characters. We got two traits. First off, the first one is not going to matter much. It's Assembled Avengers. It's the same as Assembled Masters, but for Avengers instead of Masters of Evil. Masters of Evil and Thunderbolts. Then we have Not Tricks, Tactical, which grants Precision Strike. Hawkeye can use Precision Strike and or Ranged Combat Expert even while targeting more than one target. Okay, now looking at his dial, we open up with a couple clicks of the special power Hawkeye, which grants Running Shot, Sidestep, and Stealth. So we get 3 clicks of regular Sidestep, then back to Hawkeye. On attack, we open up with a couple clicks of Incapacitate, followed by a few clicks of Energy Explosion, then back to Incapacitate. Defense, we open up with Willpower for a couple clicks, then a few clicks of Energy Shield Deflection, then back to Willpower. Damage, we open up with Leadership, and then we close out with 4 clicks of Ranged Combat Expert. Now, I mentioned the Beetle Pod with the Beetle. It grants Flight, Toughness, and modifies Speed value by 2. Finally, we've got Taskmaster. Tasky here comes in at 100 points and also has the Team Player Wildcard ability. He is, after all, a mercenary. But he's got the Agency X, Cabal, Hydra, Initiative, Assassin, and Martial Arts keywords, and 2 traits. First off is, just because you hire me doesn't make me friends. Taskmaster doesn't count against Steam teams. So, as he doesn't have either Master Evil or Thunderbolts, he's treated as though he does. Except for being counted for the Thunderbolts and Masters trait. Next up, I memorize moves from dozens of chumps. Take your best shot. As a free action, you get to choose 2. Charge, Flurry, Running Shot, Blades, Incapacitate, Penetrate Psychic Blast, Precision Strike, Combat Reflexes, Energy Deflection, Close Combat Expert, Exploit Weakness, and Range Combat Expert. Taskmaster can use the chosen powers until your next turn. This turn, characters targeted by Taskmaster with an attack can't use the chosen powers until your next turn. Okay, alright. Looking at his dial, we've got 4 clicks of Sidestep, followed by 2 clicks of Plasticity. Nothing on attack, but at the same time, he's kind of got a lot of attack powers he can choose from. Defense, 2 clicks of Toughness, followed by 2 clicks of Super Senses, back to Toughness for 2 clicks. Damage, we have a couple of clicks of Leadership, followed by a couple of clicks of Shape Change, and a couple of clicks of Perplex. Now, there is one more thing to look at for these teams. But on both the X-Force and the Thunderbolts team, we will also be utilizing the Power Gem, which which modifies the equipped character's damage by +1 and gives the equipped character Close Combat Expert and Range Combat Expert. When the character hits with an attack roll of 10 or higher, after resolutions, the hit target is dealt 1 penetrating damage. On the X-Force team, ideally speaking, it'll be going on Cable. On the Thunderbolts team, it'll ideally be going on Taskmaster. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.